Okay, I'm Gavin from GetYourRockOut, and I'm here at the London Islington Academy with Derek Green from Sepultura. Hi, it's great, it's fantastic. Welcome back to the UK.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be back.
Brilliant. Obviously, this is the start of the European tour, I believe. It's in the UK.
We started in the UK, and it's been incredible. You know, all the shows have been close to sold out, and great feedback from everywhere, you know, with the new album, new songs, and mixed with the old songs in the set. It's been just so incredible, you know, to be back here. Such a great energy and vibe.
Brilliant, that's wonderful. I mean, so you've had a good response. I've been talking to some of the other bands. They said they've sort of pinpointed out sort of Weymouth, I think, was a huge sort of like, it was quite a surprise really, because it's not really on the map, is Weymouth. I often think to myself, but bang, a great crowd.
But it's great. I mean, Weymouth, the last time we played there was maybe 2 years ago, and it was the summertime, and we had a chance to hang out after the show, you know, in the local bar, and we did the same thing this time, you know, really being able to have a connection with the fans, and I think that really helps for you know the energy of the show, you know, and so it's great to come to places that we've been before and seeing old friends and things like that.
Wonderful. I mean, obviously you've had a warm welcome, I trust, in the UK, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I mean, any sort of highlights of the tour so far? Well, obviously you just talk about Weymouth in the bar.
I think Dublin, you know, is like always just. It's amazing to play there. There's so many Brazilians living there, or studying there, and so half of the show it seems like they're from Brazil.
Wow!
So it adds to a whole different level of energy.
Like a home away from
right.
To a degree, yeah.
But it's great. I mean, I think people from Dublin and that mix of Brazilians being there makes for such an interesting show.
Yeah.
But it's just been so fast, you know, no days off, and just really plowing through very quickly. But looking back, you know, already, you know, it's great that we in this mini tour here in the UK, in London, you know, and it's a lot of old friends and just the excitement, you know, it's just like we really didn't know what to expect after not being here for so long, but it's great to return to.
How long has it been since you've been over here?
It was really, I mean, like 2 years, yeah.
2 years, really? Wow. I mean, it doesn't seem that long.
The last time we played the UK was Bloodstock Festival last year, and that was fantastic. Yeah. It's a great festival.
Brilliant. So, let's talk about the new album.
Okay,
The Mediator. Now, obviously, Sepultura, this is their 13th album.
Right.
I mean, what's new? what was different between The Mediator and, obviously, before The Mediator we had Carlos?
Yeah.
What was different? What was different this time?
I think the biggest differences between those two albums were Eloy Casagrande.
Of course, the new drummer, yes.
And Ross Robinson recording.
Of course, yes.
So those are the two, I think, like game changers, you know?
Yeah.
I think with us, we've always wanting to create albums that are different from the previous.
Yeah.
And it just it's very natural. It's not really forced.
Okay.
It's just that we enjoy to create something new and not try to repeat what we've done already. And so I think with Eloy it was great in the writing sense because we gave him the freedom to write. He's passionate about playing metal music. He started joining our band when he was 20. You know, so he's very
quite young, isn't he, compared to the other members? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, how did that come around? And I did a little sort of digging on the internet, and obviously, from what I see, he doesn't have a big track record. Do you know what I mean?
It's interesting about him is that a technician that we were working with doing our sound, he had seen him play in the U.S. He was doing some workshops.
Okay.
And he just stuck in his head. He's like, "Oh, you should audition this guy." And I saw him online, and it was something for Modern Drummer magazine, and they asked him to come and perform in the U.S. when he was 14 years old in front of all these people. And I was like, "Wow," you know. And so he had people know him in Brazil. He'd already been touring with some Brazilian bands. He'd already gone to Europe and the U.S. He already had all his endorsements and everything set. You know, it was just like really a lot that he'd been doing for such a young age, you know, extremely professional. But he had always he always loved Sepultura. He was always into heavy metal music, and so it was a dream for him to audition. And so we had the audition with him, and he knew the songs from the set list pretty much, and it was just easy to work with him. And he was excited about writing, to show what he could do.
You can hear it, can't you? You can hear it in the new album. It's a very it's put a real new sort of edge to the sound of the album.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's so massive, it's like I'm really already excited about writing another album with them because, we've already been touring and, you get to know each other better. And I think the evolution of Sepultura has always been that way. Even when I joined the band, I felt that the albums slowly, progressively have changed and gotten better. And that was like the whole idea of, I think joining a group or being in a group is to know that each album is essential, but at the same time you feel that there's a progression. And so I think it's the same thing with Eloy. I think that we'll only progress with him because he's still learning so much, and he just adds a whole new energy to the band.
Fantastic. I mean, obviously, for you personally, this is your 7th album with the band.
I think so.
What's it like now? From today, obviously, The Mediator, to back to Against.
Right.
I think was your first record, wasn't it? Yeah. How is that?
It's fascinating. It's great to listen back and to see. I think I learned a lot. From traveling and playing live and the recording processes, and it's been incredible. It's been an amazing journey. I learned so much about myself and each person in the band and the industry and all their cultures and everything. So it's been really a dream.
In fact, for yourself, it's been 16 years.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a long time. So that's the age of a small adult.
It's true. It's been a while. It's been passing pretty quickly now, but it's hard to believe. It's been so long.
Wow. So obviously, we've got The Mediator, the latest one. One thing that I've noticed personally, The Mediator, you had Kairos before that, and then it was Alex.
Right.
Was again, the albums are certainly taking. They're getting edgier.
Right.
They're getting more aggressive. I personally think so. Was that intentional? Is this just what you guys are writing? Is just what comes naturally to you?
I think it comes naturally, honestly. Like I said, with Eloy, for sure, it definitely changed a lot because with Jean de la Belle, he wasn't really a particular metal drummer, but he could play that style. And he has great rhythm, and he's a fantastic drummer. But Eloy, he really loves metal music, so it's going to be reflected definitely in the aggression, that's behind it. And so I think also there was a lot that we had to prove within ourselves. It's just like just building up. There's so many different things coming in, from people talking shit to just dealing with the business. I think a lot of that aggression is always still there. And certain things are happening socially around us. And wanting to be able to express ourselves aggressively, but in an interesting way. But I think it's just happened naturally,
Fantastic. And the other one I want to know is obviously over the years, this is for the entire career, there's always a lot of covers. There's always a lot of covers. A lot of bands do obviously do covers, but we're talking nearly like every album for a couple on sort of like a bonus track or something like that. And I've just always sort of like quite wondered, are you inspired by the songs? For instance, the last album you had Ministry, and obviously The Prodigy, which are two, to be fair, Ministry, metal, a bit of electronic,
totally.
Whereas The Prodigy are kind of like,
way out.
Is it because you're quite inspired by those bands, or
Absolutely.
is it because for the challenge? Because obviously you don't do any.
I think for us it's so easy to do a cover of a metal band. It's not going to be that interesting. I even think for people, they're like, wow, it sounds similar to the original. But I think it's more interesting when you pick something that's challenging and at the same time inspiring. And I hopefully it opens the minds to certain people who are consistently like, I only listen to this style, to capture you capture inspiration from different styles of music, and that's what art is about, really learning and capturing and being able to to understand different forms of art. And I think there's different styles of music that influence us, that always have. I mean, we've done everything from U2 to Massive Attack.
Yeah, U2,
you know, we even did Massive Attack in our own hometown, like played like a little bit, you know, and U2 we played, and you know, Bauhaus, we did a cover, and I mean, it's just such a wide variety, but those were the, you know, really challenging, you know, but they came out the best, you know? Like, I mean, they ended up becoming, like, you know, people really, like, wow, I heard this song in a totally different way, you know, and so it's great, you know, that challenge, and also, I mean, it's fun to do.
I mean, obviously, looking at that, like you said, you know, like Prodigy, Ministry, and obviously you've done some other sort of more quirky ones, haven't you? I mean, you've done things obviously by Gazillion groups and stuff as well.
Yeah, on the new album, there's a song by a band called Chico Science and Sound B, and that's all in Portuguese, and Andreas is singing that.
Oh, so, really? I hadn't noticed, actually,
So we're going to do that tonight, and it's just, you know, it's really like going out there, not being afraid to try different stuff. You know, I think a lot of times people are trying to keep it within the box. And I think metal and extreme music was always not about that. It's about kind of exploring and being outside of the box, breaking barriers. And so a lot of times people forget that. They become a little bit afraid of what everybody's going to say or think or, you know, whatever. And that's, you know, people are entitled to their opinions, but you can't be ruled by that. You can't live your life by that. It's impossible. You're going to drive yourself crazy. So I think it's important, you know, for any young band and even for us to really constantly not be afraid of that and to do what we feel, you know, and believe in that. And then people can either gather around that and understand it or not, you know. You know, it's like kind of like punk rock, you know. It's like you either like it or fuck off, you know. You know, and that attitude is what I got into music. That's why I loved alternative music, because it was kind of like, you know, fuck you, I'm doing what I want to do. You know, I'm doing what I feel, you know, and not being afraid to show that.
It's incredible, it's incredible. And obviously, like I said, obviously looking at your covers across the world, I think a lot of bands obviously have very strong fan bases in either this place or that place, worldwide, the Sepul Nation. You know, you've only got to go on to somewhere like Twitch or something like that, and everyone knows Sepultura. What's that like? What, you know, I mean, how is it to feel to be able to walk into most countries and to be able to do a tour, short tour, long tour, but to be able to actually have that wide audience?
I think it's incredible. It just shows that music can break most barriers, you know, like all barriers as far as language, culture, race, religion, you know, it destroys all that. It just crushes it, you know, and it opens it for people to communicate and to understand each other, and it's beautiful, you know. It's an incredible, beautiful thing, you know, that's how much power, you know, that music has, the ability to do that. And it's great to see, you know, you go to India or to Cuba or, you know, to the Philippines, and, you know, have people who are exactly the same, you know, as here, you know, as being able to relate to that style of music. And it's an incredible feeling, you know. It's like ambassadors to something that's you know, so positive and so amazing, you know.
Brilliant, wonderful. So, obviously, you're on the European tour now, which I think finishes in April?
Yeah, well, we just started now, and we'll finish in March, this run, and then we'll take a month off, and then we'll start again at the end of May, back in Europe, to do festivals and stuff like that.
Fantastic. So, I mean, is that the plans for 2014? Is it just touring and
it's
plugging
touring,
the new album?
Plugging the new album and playing as many festivals as possible and shows and going everywhere around the world, you know, worldwide tour. And so that's the primary plan, and eventually to have this documentary that we're working on with Sepultura for the many years now. And we're working on that, and we have a director that's coming on this tour now to finish off the interviews, and he's been interviewing different people from our past and things, and we really want to put this out for the 30 years that the band has been together.
It'll be 30 years. 2015, won't it?
At the end of this year, actually.
Is it? Oh, okay. Right,
So it will be something, you know, very special for fans of Sepultura to really understand, you know.
It's a story, isn't it? It's a real story.
It's a really big story. But we want to show, like, why is it still interesting or what happened, you know, what has been happening with the band. Really not to go into like a VH1 thing, like the band started in this town.
Behind the music type.
Right.
Yeah.
This is kind of like to show like the appeal of what's been happening, you know, and why is there still an interest, you know.
The 30 years is a good career for any band, isn't it?
I think so, you know, it's something very unique and very special, you know, you don't see too often. But it's a really big story, you know, I mean, it involves, you know, so many people and so many people in the industry. I think it'd be interesting for people to really understand from our point of view of what was going on.
Yeah. Okay, well, do you know what? Thank you very much. Do you know, a great interview. Good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck for the rest of the tour, and I'm especially looking forward to seeing the documentary which you reckon.
Hopefully at the end of this year, you know, that's what we're pushing for.
Okay. All right, brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh,